Reports that a missile crossed into NATO territory, killing 2 people in Poland. Our senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palkot is live in Kiev. And what do we know about this report from Poland, and what are the potential implications?
John, this is the huge, significant event that we're just tracking in just the last couple of minutes. According to a senior U.S. official and according to reports on the ground, a Russian missile fired from somewhere off of Ukraine went into Ukraine airspace, but then veered into eastern Poland and actually hit a target, not a target, but a site in eastern Poland, killing 2 people. This is the first time something like this has happened. This triggers all sorts of questions about what the reaction could be from NATO. I think we all know now about that Article 5 of NATO, that any attack on an ally of the United States, of a NATO member, would trigger some kind of response from NATO. So again,
bro, this got to stop. I'm sorry. It just keeps happening on accident, bro. What the fuck?
Or so. We are tracking it. We'll give you more as we know about it. But yes, let's talk about this huge barrage of missiles that hit Ukraine today, the biggest barrage of this entire war.
Target, but not a target? The fuck is he trying to instigate? Okay, here's the thing. 1, here's what we don't know. Did Russia deliberately fucking send bombs into Poland? Okay, did they deliberately send rockets into Poland? Now, common sense would say, no, why the fuck would they do that? Like, they're literally retreating in Kherson. They're already on your ass about the Yachty tweet. Dude, you got to stop. Women flock to date men whose dads were first responders in 9/11, while men whose dads did 9/11 struggle to find dates. This is a double standard society needs to fix. I can't like that tweet. I'm sorry. That one is a little too much. Okay, maybe secretly, but goddamn, stop it. Okay. Look, listen. I mean, we're all gonna fucking die. Who gives a shit what tweet I like? You know what I'm saying? So what should I say here? Okay. Number 1, we don't know if Russia did it. Okay. It could have been an accident. It could have been the Ukrainian air defense, the Ukrainian air defense missiles that didn't deploy or whatever. That's what people are saying now. Or Russia did it deliberately because they're fucking crazy. Okay? But no matter what happens, the media has a complete complete control over what kind of sensationalist attitude that people are going to have over this issue. Do I think that like NATO would do Article 5 to defend Poland because 2 Polish people died? No, I don't think that, because Article 5 would imply, like, Russia would have to do a lot more than that for Article 5 to be invoked in this situation. So don't get duped by the bloodthirsty media, but also at the same time, I don't fucking know. I don't know. We live in very weird times. Billionaires are losing fucking billions of dollars. Like, that's shit that you normally wouldn't see. You know what I mean? Who knows at this point? But if you want to hear my assessment, not that I am saying this is definitely going to happen, and I'm going to give you a lot of qualifiers today because a lot of people are probably going to come in here to be like, Hasan, remember when you were wrong? And all this shit. I'm just going to keep giving a lot of fucking qualifiers. I don't think that, like, this would be enough for the United States to literally go out to fucking full nuclear Holocaust style, invocation of Article 5. Right? He's concerned about billionaires losing money. Wait, what? No, I'm saying, like, shit's real weird right now. I haven't seen this many fucking prominent public billionaires lose this much money this quickly in a long time. I'm just saying, the space, the vibes are fucked. The vibes are a little weird. Things are a little unpredictable. That's all I'm stating. I don't give a fuck that they lost money. It's not real money, but like, it's a lot, man. They're losing. Like, you guys talk about like 2008 financial, the housing market crash and shit, but like, yeah, a lot of those billionaires still made a lot of money. It was the normal people that got fucked over. The economy tanked. Normal people got fucked over. But like right now, you have billionaires like Elon Musk, billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, billionaires like the fucking FTX guy, Sam Bankman-Fried. Like, those are the guys who are losing billions on their own. You know what I mean? Like, out of nowhere. It's kind of crazy. Kind of weird. Fucking Article 5 does not apply for Turkey, but will apply to Poland. Yeah, I just don't think that it will. That's what I'm saying. Article 5 is for like, bro, I'm not sure Article 5 would be applied for fucking, Germany, okay? NATO is an American operation. It's just like, I don't think that they would do that. I think that they would reduce the threshold for, or they would increase the threshold, I guess, for Article 5. If it's a stray missile, like, they're not going to say this is like territorial defense that is a necessity. I don't think. This is a perfect example of how the longer the conflict continues in Ukraine, the odds of something going wrong or accident leading to nuclear war increases. Yes. Chad should know you were right to be skeptical yesterday. Oh, the 15,000? Yeah, no, I already talked about it. Yeah, no, this was, dude, normies that I work out with were like freaking out over this, so I did a fucking couple searches. That's why I said, like, I don't think that this is what's going on. I think that they have arrested a lot of protesters, but they're not fucking executing them. They've slated one person that they're going to execute and 5 more so far. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit, though. Yeah, there's just so much misinformation that fucking spreads so fast, especially when it's like America's enemy. You know what I mean? So they might say it was a stray Ukrainian missile, even if that's not true, to de-escalate. Potentially. I don't think that they would fucking I don't think that they would run to defend Russia in any meaningful situation, though. I think the more likely scenario is like they say it was a Russian missile, but we're still not going to do anything about it, rather than say it's a fucking it's not a Russian missile, it's a Ukrainian one. You know what I mean? You feel me? Lithuania ready to defend NATO territory? Yeah, okay, bro. It's Lithuania. Like, this is not... Listen. If Speed can't pronounce the name of the country that you're talking about, I don't care what their take is on defending NATO territory, okay? Like, there's only one country that matters in this situation, okay? It's not Lithuania. I hate to break it to you, okay? It's America. It's what America is going to do. You're not ready for that Lithuanian lightning? I'm just saying, dude, like... Moldova! Lithuania! Iran! Croatia! Uruguay! Costa Rica! Okay. Sunzia! There's a couple different conflicting theories on this. Some are saying that it's the remains of a shot down Russian missile. Some are saying it's a faulty non-deployed S-300, which is a Ukrainian Ukrainian air defense missile that didn't deploy adequately. That's what a lot of people are saying right now. The original take, of course, was because it was like Russia sending fucking hundreds of missiles, and then two of them hitting Polish territory. Everyone was saying, like, you know, it's Russia that deliberately sent missiles into Poland.
We heard a few hours ago the air raid sirens. We heard explosions. Take a look at what we saw. What happened is a Russian missile was flying over this residential area. It was shot by Ukrainian air defenses. Some fragments hit that building, caused a hole, caused a lot of damage, and then pieces of that missile fell down into the street. You can see it right here being taken away by officials. Incredible stuff. The fire raged from the building for a long time. One person was killed, one person injured. We were at the scene. We can't believe the casualties.
What? Russia's defense ministry statements by Polish media and officials about the Russian missiles hitting Polish territory are a deliberate provocation with the aim of escalating the situation. That's what the Russian defense ministry is saying. So, but they're not even saying they didn't do it. You know what I mean? They're basically, I mean, it's going to be chalked up to an accident, I think, I hope. But I think that's what it's looking to, that is what it looks like.
Casualty toll wasn't higher. All told, according to officials here, over 90 missiles were fired by Russia today in the direction of Ukraine from all sides. Ukraine says it shot down around 70, but the rest got through. Once again, those hitting power stations and other parts of the electric grid here, and that's knocked out power all over.
That's not a random Twitter account. It's First Squawk. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, oh, God damn it, dude. Twitter is so stupid with the no verification, yes verification. First Squawk is like a legit fucking global news service, man. No, that's... Oh, no. Bro, this website is so dog right now, dude. What is happening right now? It's like, this is literally the most... This is why Twitter is Twitter, okay? This is literally why Twitter is important. And right now, the website is blowing the fuck up. Yo, this shit sucks. I'm so used to that just being like First Squawk. Okay, boom. Those are like markers. I know that that's like a legitimate, viable source of information, right? Meanwhile, they don't even have their verification anymore. What the fuck is happening? Is everything I see going to be a troll account? Fuck me. Holy shit. Russia's defense ministry has also said no strikes against targets near the Ukrainian-Polish border have been carried out by Russian weapons. I mean, what the fuck does that... What are they saying? Ukraine is sending their own missiles into Poland? Is that what they're saying? Ministry of Defense, Russian Federation say that fragments published in hot pursuit by the Polish media from the scene of the village of Przewozów have nothing to do with Russian weapons. Bro, look at this. People are already being like, maybe they were using Ukrainian weapons. Bro, I hate covering this shit because, like, I can't even be fucking honest because, you know, and say that, like, that sounds ridiculous because they have done ridiculous shit throughout this entire war, including the war itself. You know what I mean? I still try to you know, maintain the position that, like, that everyone, no matter how fucking evil, bloodthirsty, awful they are, still have, like, some level of sanity and are operating from a point of, like, you know, self-preservation. But, you know, I don't think that this is Ukraine. Obviously, that's a fucking silly Billy ass Russian take. But the most likely scenario, it seems like, is what everyone is saying. Polish people in the chat, please don't try to get me to pronounce your village names. I'm going to be honest with you. That is not happening. Okay. Like, that's crazy. Like, I can't, because the amount of time I would have to dedicate to that would be so long that the world would end by the time I could get one of the fucking villages' names right. Okay. I'd be like, and then, but while I'm done saying the village name, we would be getting obliterated with nukes. more qualifiers than a Reddit comment is the only way. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep doing it like that because, I mean, this is not about me. Who cares? But I'm just, if you're wondering why I'm going to be giving a million different fucking qualifiers all day, you know the reason. But yes, it could be that it is not. Polish reporter on blast tonight. My sources on the services say that what hit Przewoło is most likely the remains of a Russian rocket shot down by the armed forces of Ukraine. Some people are also saying that it could have been a Ukrainian defense. It could have been a Ukrainian missile that did not deploy adequately. What are you, Hassan? What are you doing to help resolve the situation instead of gaslighting? Just experiencing it. Okay, just like you. Lithuania's president says every inch of NATO territory must be defended. I already told you that's completely meaningless. All right, let's continue with what Fox is saying.
Millions tonight here in Kyiv and across the country are without electricity. The president's office here said it was Russia's response to Zelensky's video message to the G20 summit today, demanding that Russia withdraw all of its troops from Ukraine and all of its borders be restored. Others think it might have just been payback for that spectacular retaking by
Ukraine. Nobody's saying nobody is saying it's a fucking no. It's not like Ukrainians purposely fucking blew up Polish territory, dummy. I'm saying the Ukrainian air defense, some of the OSINT Twitter looking at the remains is claiming that it looks like air defense missiles, and that also corresponds to what I just showed you, like what the people on the ground, what some of the Polish reporters have also said, which is that it's more likely that this was like an intercepted missile and it's remains of the S-300 that didn't deploy adequately. It's probably both. An S-300 missile that hit a Russian target, like it hit a Russian missile and didn't explode properly, so the remains fell into, or the remains just got shot directly into Poland or some shit. And it just happened to hit a large grain store. Come on, man. No, that part is actually, wait, I thought it was a residential area. Look at where it hit. Look at where it hit. Also, it's breaking news. It's breaking news. So I don't know what the exact details are. This literally fucking happened while I was going live.
Today demanding that Russia withdraw all of its troops from Ukraine and all of its borders be restored. Others think it might have just been payback for that spectacular retaking by Ukraine of the Russian-held city of Kherson. But again, back to the breaking news that we're following here, John and Sandra, potentially immensely significant. It looks like one of those missiles, according to a U.S. official, which Associated Press is reporting, we do not have this yet confirmed from Polish authorities. It seems like one of those Russian missiles strayed across the border between Ukraine and Poland, hit a site in Poland, apparently just a civilian site there, but killing 2 people. We understand the Polish government is in emergency session now taking a look at this. We'll be watching it as the day.
It's just like such a weird way to start World War III. Like, you know what I mean? It's the weirdest way to start World War III if it were to happen. You know what I mean? Like, we're just testing it out by killing Polish farmers in like one of the fucking edge, in one of the edge towns. Like, if that was a full-blown mobilization, it would mean that like there would be a lot more troop movement, troop mobilization to make sure that you could follow through, even like missile systems that are pointing directly at Poland. These are a lot of fucking massive convoys of weapons, artillery that everyone, including anyone with a fucking Twitter account, is able to trace and track. Like, there is not a Russian driver of a fucking missile system that farts on accident without like everyone in fucking OSINT Twitter knowing about it. Okay. So like, if there if they were mobilizing to like send missiles into fucking Poland, we would have heard about it. The American State Department would have also talked about it. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, they would talk about it a lot. Initial reports said it was probably a grain dust explosion at a drying facility until a radio host unofficially tweeted it was Russian missiles. Nobody has confirmed his claim. He called it, and I told Bill Clinton in 1999, don't invite Poland into NATO. I have a bad feeling about that, but he didn't listen to me. Bro. Why are you using this to shit on LeBron? Okay? He probably did know. Do you believe that there's a possibility of World War III and not the nuclear disaster? What do you mean? World War III means nuclear disaster. I don't think nation states are going to get together and be like, you know what? Actually, we have 6,000 nuclear warheads, okay? Russians are not going to be like, listen, suka blyat, we have 6,000 nuclear warheads that we've been polishing and dusting off since, the Cold War. We decided we're not going to fight with those. We're going to fight with our boots on the ground military warfare, Here, shake my hand. Like, what are you, fucking stupid? They suck too. They can't even fucking invade Ukraine. Why would they be like, let's take the L on this. Let's fight man to man. That's not going to happen. They don't have the resources. They don't have the resources to occupy Ukraine. What makes you think they're going to be able to occupy Poland on top of that, which is NATO territory? That's crazy. No, World War III, Article 5, nuclear war. That's what it's supposed to be. At that point, it's just like nuclear brinksmanship. At that point, it's like, how far do we go to defend Poland?
Ally and partner. And like I said, we are working with them to determine what happened and assess next steps as well.
In a broader context, what is your confidence level that Putin is not targeting NATO, given his latest statements?
I'm just not going to try and speculate or try and get in the mind of President Putin or his intentions. What we do know is that this war has been one that is unjust. It's been brutal.
Look, we already got these. The sneaky Russian says, Russian warheads are probably not even functional. They require constant maintenance and replacement. Bro, that's it. Everything old is new again, dude. We're doing literally fucking Cold War nuclear combos right now. We're having the same fucking combos over and over again. I feel like I'm losing my mind, brother. Just like at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break, and I keep telling you over and over again, if you want an uninterrupted broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe.
Who have stayed strong in the face of Russia.
The real Cold War is at the top of the fucking hour, boys.
For months, and we will continue to support Ukraine. Camilla.
When you say you're working,
you no longer want to see those fucking ads.
Allies and partners, can you confirm that
that's what you got to do?
Speaking to
for $5 for free with a Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub. Here's the 1-minute ad break now.
What this might have been and whether or not they have responded at all.
Camilla, we're talking to a range of partners, but like I said, this just transpired, so I don't have specific calls or line item actions to read out for you. But again, I want to assure that we will get to the bottom of what has happened. We'll determine what's happened and determine appropriate.
Oh God, this sucks. Okay, here, let's see what's in this.
So, Colonel, I mean, it's hard to imagine, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, that Russia would intentionally fire a missile into Poland. They know the consequences of that. So if this were, as Sam was laying out, if this were the scenario that a Russian missile was lobbed, Ukraine shot it down, projectiles or shrapnel from that came down in Poland and killed 2 people, then what is the response from Poland?
Yeah, so that presents a few problems, doesn't it, Allison? And that is probably a likely scenario at this point. You know, what would happen, I think, of course, would express great regret at this situation if they were actually shooting down these missiles. If the missiles weren't shot down and they were Russian missiles without any interference, if you will, from a Ukrainian air defense, then of course that's a completely different issue. So the Poles and the Ukrainians would work something out if it were the first scenario. If it's the second scenario, then I think the Poles would, at the very least, use diplomatic efforts.
Isn't it a bit weird that they're talking about it like Russia didn't directly target Poland? I mean, why does that matter? Wait, what do you mean? That of course that matters. In that circumstance, intent is literally all that matters. Did the entire reason for NATO's existence, the country, well, there's not the entire reason, but if the country that NATO is like opposed to ended up bombing a NATO territory, there are protocols set in place that implies that every NATO country is supposed to go to war immediately. Okay, if it's like actual intentional, we're gonna take over your territory type shit. What? They're saying you were involved in FTX, bro. Colbert, you got to stop fucking memeing to get me to click on your links. I'm gonna.
The more likely scenario is that this was accidental as opposed to intentional, and possibly, as Sam referenced, a Russian missile that was hit by an air defense system and then came down on Polish territory. More likely. No one is confirming that are the circumstances here, but that is a likely scenario. I spoke to a U.S. lawmaker on the House Intelligence Committee a few minutes ago who said that kind of circumstance, he's surprised it hasn't happened yet, in fact, in some 9 months of war now since the Russian invasion, going back to February, given the volume, the many hundreds of missiles that Russia has fired at Ukrainian territory, including in the western part of the country, very close to the Polish border here. Given the number of missiles in the air, the number getting shot at and shot down, that this hasn't happened yet, right? A more likely than not accidental as opposed to intentional strike, given that volume. And as a U.S. military official who I've known for a number of years reminded me a short time ago, the Russians don't always have the greatest aim, right? And we've seen that with some of their strikes before, intended for military facilities that hit non-military facilities, et cetera. So we have to factor that in. I think take a moment before we discuss scenarios where NATO is invoking Article 5 to go to war against Russia, right, to defend one of their own. We're not there yet. That said, this shows the tremendous danger of waging a war on Europe's largest country and firing an incredible amount of munitions.
Yeah, Russia does have Winston aim, though.
And it's not always the accuracy that you would like.
It's true.
Russia often doesn't care what it hits right on Ukrainian territory. They deliberately target civilians and other targets.
It ain't false,
so that's
brother.
Something
It's
to keep
true.
in mind. But before we get to a space here where we have NATO declaring war on Russia or a coordinated military response, that the facts don't justify that at this point. Now, we do know that U.S. officials, NATO officials are looking at this very closely to know exactly what happened. And even short of, say, invoking Article 5, given that two citizens of Poland appear to have died in this attack, you can expect some response. And I think once they have the facts determined, that's what you should be what we should be looking for as the most likely outcome here.
We're getting a little bit of new information here, Sam, that I'll read to you. The Russia Defense Ministry has just come out with a statement. They say the statements of the Polish media and officials about the alleged fall of Russian, in quotations, missiles in the area of the settlement of that farm is a deliberate provocation in order to escalate the situation. They go on to say there were no strikes made on targets near the Ukrainian-Polish state border. Your response?
Well, that's not true. It's absolutely not true. We know that there were strikes, attempted strikes, and I believe actual strikes not very far from Lviv, the first that have been seen there for some time. Lviv is not very far from the Polish border. I think what is also troubling about this statement is that it has come out very, very quickly, and it means that the Russians have climbed very long way up the tree of denial, a denial that is going to be very difficult for them to reverse. What? But it could well be that this is some other kind of military accident. As Jim was absolutely right to point out, we don't know even much more than the barest facts, which is that two projectiles have landed inside Polish territory, a NATO...
So now they're saying it's projectiles.
...on a farm not very far from the border. Excuse me. Back to you.
All right, let me come to you, Colonel, on this. What we're learning from this short statement from the Russian
Reagan,
Defense
White House has
Ministry,
asked Congress for $37.7 billion in Ukrainian aid as of this moment.
Situation. Frankly, Colonel, that is what we've heard from the Russians at every turn of this invasion.
Who is this fucking guy,
they
bro?
The atrocities in Bucha and in Mariupol, and frankly, the hits on residential buildings and schools and hospitals.
I don't want to see this motherfucker.
They've blamed those
in
on
every
others
fucking reply.
When it's clear that the Russians have been responsible
verified,
for those. So
stupid
that
fucking accounts. Holy shit!
This is a deliberate provocation. Is undermined by everything we've seen throughout this invasion over the last 8 months.
Twitter blue motherfuckers out here.
It is undermined by that, Victor. There's no question that the Russians will try to obfuscate and they'll try to make things seem different from what they actually are. The fact of the matter is, as Sam pointed out, it's very clear that the Russians were attacking targets in western Ukraine. They were attacking targets near Lviv, which is not too far from this Polish village that was hit. And it's very clear also that they've attacked these areas before. So it's highly likely that this Russian missile that this missile is a Russian missile, first of all, and that secondly, that either it hit a target that it may not have intended to hit, or that it was shot down by Ukrainian air defense, or something happened to it, in mid-flight. But regardless of what happened, the Russians are clearly responsible for this kind of an attack. And they're responsible for this missile being launched in the first place. There's no other source where that missile would have come from. There's no logic to the idea that, say, Ukraine would have done something like this, or that the Poles would have done it to themselves. So those things, would be discarded right away in terms of any investigation of this from an intelligence perspective.
Yeah.
Phil, we have to believe, of course, that the Pentagon and the White House have war-gamed out a scenario like this, even if it were an accident. And so has President Biden ever talked about what the U.S. response would be to something like this?
I mean, I think the ambiguity about what actually happened kind of makes it a little bit different.
Is Hassan still doing pro-Russian takes? Bro, he hasn't even... Look, again, motherfuckers don't come in here to hear what's going on. They're in here to just, like... They've already made up their mind. They think I've already said something. They don't even care if I've said something or not. How many Poles does he think he should let die before we do anything? Man, you're right. Let's go. It's fucking nuclear holocaust, dude. Article 5, baby. Let's do it.
The president actually visited in March.
I'm chill.
When he was there.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I mean, I said that I don't want to die yet because, like, we got one piece. But fuck it, dude. Like, nuclear holocaust. Let's
because
do it.
This is a very, very tense situation. I think Jim noted this as well. There have been White House officials.
Also, don't yell at me, your fucking least favorite Twitch streamer that you hate watch. Go yell at the Defense Department. It's not up to me, motherfucker. It's up to America. America thinks like, maybe the defense stocks are down. Maybe we can get a quick little boost and get into nuclear brinksmanship. Then yeah. Then, they'll do it. They'll do whatever they want to do.
Any number of scenarios over the course of the last 8 or 9 months. But I think in this
Russia
one in
hits
particular,
Poland,
now
America's
that
fault. Wait, I didn't say that.
White House officials are extremely focused on finding out just exactly what happened. Once they find out what happened.
I'll be honest with you. I'm fine with nuclear holocaust where I die because a lot of you dumb motherfuckers are going to die with me. Okay? Straight up. Like, it's going to wipe you out too, dumbass. So, fuck it. YOLO. You know what I mean? Because I'm sick and tired of some of you motherfuckers. Okay? So, if all-out nuclear war is happening, okay, honestly, some of you dumb motherfuckers are going to die too, and it's fine. It is, we're all good. We're in this together, boys, Fuck it. I just don't want, like, my last moments on Earth to be polluted with, like, idiotic dickheads who are, like, literally, even in my final moment, I'm just going to get a fucking quick troll in. Right?
in the White House that they are still looking into that. They are in communication with allies. No confirmation yet, even from the State Department, of what happened across the border there in Poland.
It's just like every single gray name in my chat that comes in here to be like, Hasan is fucking blaming America for this again, isn't he? Like, or some shit like that, which I'm not. You know, you're going to die a virgin, dog. You're going to die a virgin, okay? The first and last time you saw pussy was when you crawled out of your mom's. And now you're going to die in a nuclear holocaust without ever getting a nut off. You know what I mean? That sucks. It's whatever, you know, it is what it is. New draft dodge advice, ASAP Broski. You're going to be mauling at gray names all day today? I'm from Poland. Should I be scared for real? Because I'm panicking right now. Just joined today's stream. Please don't yell at me. No, I mean, look, in all seriousness, I mean, I don't know. The interest of what Ukraine wants to do, just like the interest of what Poland wants to do, are not a factor in this conversation. It is all about what America wants to do. Just like America will say, hey, look, we're going to give you billions of dollars of weapons in Ukraine. But of course, we're not going to do Article 5 invoking actions. We're not going to have air support. You know what I mean? We're not going to send troops into Ukraine. So the reality is, like, there are two sides to this conversation. There's the Russian element, and then there's the American element. Neither side, it seems, so far, looks like they're interested in straight up nuclear holocaust. And Article 5 that's what that is. Two countries that have nuclear warheads that go to war with one another are just going to deploy it. That's mutually assured destruction. That's at the heart of nuclear brinksmanship, right? If Russia... Remember when there was a conversation about, like, Russia might use a baby nuke or a tactical nuke on Ukraine. Like, one of the things that American State Department talking heads immediately started saying was, like, well, even if they use a nuke, like, we're not going to... I really don't understand why people hate you so much on this. You've never been pro-Russia or Putin, even when critical of the U.S., and I'm like the biggest NATO simp in here. It's because they never actually watch. It's like the people that say Hasan fucking leaves his stream on when reacting to a video and it's just his chair for 3 hours. They just don't watch. They just know the memes. So they come in here, dump the meme, and then fuck off because they know they're just going to get banned. That's it. Anyone who thinks I'm like pro-Russia or pro-Putin is just fucking either straight up schizophrenic or they just have not watched. That's it. I'm both simultaneously the largest pauser, the longest pauser on the fucking platform. Like, I pause too much when I'm reacting and make like a 20-minute video into a 3-hour fucking thing. Or I just like play it and I don't do anything. But it's the first one. It's not the second one. People will just see TikToks and YouTube videos of like other people who are trying to just like get whatever they can. Anyway, but it doesn't matter.
Day develops. Back to you guys.
So thinking about the potential repercussions of the missiles straying into Polish territory, Poland is a NATO member. NATO has something called Article 5. An attack against one is an attack against all. Is this something that could potentially rise to Article 5 level, or do you think this is something that will be contained just within the Polish government? There'll be a strong response toward Russia, not much else.
We can't predict that at this point, John, but certainly throughout this entire war and prior to this war, prior to February 24th, that has been the risk. That has been the danger that the U.S. and NATO allies have been very concerned about. NATO has been worked hard to prevent this war from happening, essentially because of this kind of danger. And it has flatly stated before and during this war that if Russia decided to intentionally attack any NATO ally, there would be a NATO response. And frankly, according to the NATO charter, John, that could be very strong. Is this an intentional attack? Is this a mistake? We will see again in the next hours. We're waiting for a response from NATO as well, how the alliance handles this. Back to you.
All right, our Greg Palka watching it all from Kiev. Greg, thank you.
Russia's war on...
It's true, by the way, yes. Could it also be that the Overton window is so far into the war hawk camp that anyone not calling for all-out war appears pro-Russian? Yes, that is what... I mean, that is unironically what people say. Like, they openly say that. It's not even, like, hidden. They openly state that. Like, a lot of people have lost their fucking minds, not thinking about what that means. Like, a lot of people have, they just watch the media. The media is fucking bloodthirsty. That's the reality. You know? There's not really anything you could do about it. It's just Raytheon and our military industrial complex makes far too much money for it not to, for everything to not go their way, you know? I mean, yeah, honestly, if Russia can't defeat Ukraine, then there's just no way they would take NATO. I'm 100%. I've been saying that. You know? They're like, Russia can't even fucking occupy Ukraine, dog. What are they going to do? Fight NATO countries now? Get the fuck out of here. That's bananas. They can't. I mean, they could try, but, you know, that would turn into, again, nuclear war. Because everybody always says, like, oh, man, Putin's irrational. And you're right. He is irrational. He was irrational enough to fucking go and... he is irrational enough to go and, like, invade a whole-ass country and do everything that he's been doing. But... yeah, here, by the way, is Zelensky, who immediately came out and said, terror is not limited to our national borders. Russian missiles hit Poland to fire missiles at NATO territory. This is a Russian missile attack on collective security. This is a very significant escalation. We must act. And he's talking about how he says, I want to say now to all of our Polish brothers and sisters, Ukraine will always support you. Terror will not break people free. Break free people. Victory is possible when there is no fear. Russia is terrorizing us and everyone it can reach. Also, here it is. The Russian missile screw-up that ended up killing 2 Poles will result in NATO invoking Article 4, not Article 5. See below. The consultation will probably result in more support for Ukraine, particularly air and anti-air power, will give Poland some real influence. Here it is. The parties will consult together for Article 4 on whenever, in the opinion of any of them, the territorial integrity, political independence, and security of any of the parties is threatened. So, Article 4 is an assessment of territorial independence. What that means is, like, was this a stray or was this like all-out warfare? Is this an escalation that is going to, is this an escalation that is like genuine trouble for Poland? Now, Poland might say yes, okay? But ultimately, you know, let's be real. The real dogs in the room are America and America. So if America doesn't consider it, okay? America doesn't consider that to be a serious thing, then, you know, they'll... Ukrainian false flag to get... No, this is not a fucking... Come on, man. The most likely scenario is probably what is happening, okay? It is infinitely more likely that it is a Russian missile that was intercepted, but not in the way that it normally would, and it fell into Ukrainian territory, okay? Like, there is no... That's crazy. The most likely circumstance is that. Because for it to be a false flag, I mean, you can't hide that shit. Like, Ukraine is already too busy fighting a fucking war, okay? A very brutal war inside of its borders. They're going to put together a fucking false flag, like, attack on a NATO country? No shot. I mean, that sounds crazy. That would fucking destroy them. Like, they're not gonna fucking dump munitions in the Polish territory. You want to know why? because America would show the world real quick that the only reason why Article 5 even exists is for American influence and American might. If it doesn't compromise like America's influence in any meaningful capacity, if it's like a gimme, why are you banning people like a bitch? I don't know. Because you have no power, like, and you're derailing the stream, and you're narcissistic, and you want to fucking take, you know, in a time when there's like a lot of developing news happening, you want me, you want your own personal voice to be heard over 56,000 people, 57,000 people, which is like really fucking stupid. It's not a power trip. It's to make sure that you're having a better experience. That's why you get a 1 second. Chatters never understand that other chatters are cucking their shit when they do that. That's why we clip them. How would it destroy them? Ukraine allegedly shot down Romanian jet mid-March. They news were just silenced about it. Okay. I don't even know what you're talking about, but that story that you just told in the chat already describes why it never turned into anything larger than that. Did they shoot down a Romanian jet and say Russia did it and that's why Article 5 should be invoked? If that was their goal, then did they fail all out? I mean, I don't even know if you made that story up or not. I have no idea what you're talking about. But even in your potentially made up story, then Ukraine failed to do a false flag operation then. You know? It's true. I don't know. Like I said. So, like, are we going to war or not? Or what's the dealio? I don't want to get drafted. This shit would be whack. I don't think so. I don't. It would take a lot more, I think, from Russia. A lot more that it doesn't even have right now, power-wise, with conventional weapons, to genuinely threaten Poland, like Poland's territorial integrity, for America to potentially invoke Article 5 and go into all-out war with another country that has the same amount, if not more, nuclear warheads. This is not a prediction. This is just speculation, okay? I'm not like saying that that's 100%. I'm simply stating that that is my assessment. Obviously, I cannot predict the future. I have no idea. But if you are asking me, as chatters are,
on the Senate side as far as Republicans are concerned.
Olivia, let's talk about what's going to happen tonight. Donald Trump is expected to make a big...
Okay, come on, man. Fucking Donald Trump. All right.
On Ukraine dominated today's G20 summit talks. President Biden is meeting with other world leaders in Indonesia. Delegates discuss whether Ukraine should seek a peace deal at this time. Nancy Cordes is in Bali, not a bad place to be, traveling with the president. Nancy, good morning. I know there's a lot of work going on.
There is, Gail. This summit is a gathering of the world's 20 largest economies. And so, as you might expect, they have a lot of influence in world affairs. And so Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed this group by video, and he urged them not.
Poll here, if it's confirmed, here's what I think Poland will do. 1, more display of American power in Poland. The army's already here, so they will do more training moves on the border. 2, strong opposition from the Eastern Bloc. Yeah, Lithuania already came out and said, like, we're ready to defend every ounce of fucking Polish territory. 3, our president will say some cringe-ass shit to flex muscle. Love y'all. Yeah, that's most likely what's going to happen. I agree. Because, like, it's just such a whack way to go out, man. That's just all I'm stating, okay? There's too much money to be made selling weapons, and you can't sell any weapons if all-out nuclear holocaust happens. You know what I'm saying? That's not good for business. Like, it's good for business if you come to the fucking brink of nuclear holocaust, but it's not good for business if you actually do nuclear holocaust. You know what I mean? Like, everybody dies in that situation. You feel me? Like, motherfuckers are still trying to make money. And you can't make money if everyone's wiped out. That's the main motivator for half of the shit that's happening all the time. And like Zelensky will obviously use this as an opportunity to continue getting more support or to try to get more reinforcement. And he'll say like, look, Polish people, like, you know, we're one and the same. You know, Russia's coming after you too. But ultimately, like I said, this is not up to Ukraine. It never has been. And it's not up to Poland. It never has been. It's up to what America says. And that is precisely what, like, America has shown time and time again that their Article 5, like their threshold for like, we will deploy our weapons, we will fucking fight for you, we will defend you, is way higher than what has happened thus far. You feel me?
Not to ask him to compromise with.
Why America only? What about decision from Brussels or other NATO countries? Brussels. What do you mean, like the Sprouts, dude? Is that what you're talking about? He said Brussels, dude. Like the appetizer, like when you go to a restaurant, it's like crunchy. Oh shit, that shit's so good when it's like oven baked, roasted with some garlic, salt. Man, that shit's delicious. You're right. You know? Why are you laughing at Belgium again? What's Belgium? People keep saying it's a country. I don't know what the fuck that is. Ukrainian advisor says it wasn't an accident. Yes, a lot of Ukrainians are going to say that. Zelensky is going to say that. Ukrainian advisors are going to say that. They're saying that because they want more fucking gear. That's it.
With Russia at this time. He compared Ukraine's recent liberation of the city of Kherson to D-Day. He said it could be a turning point in this war. And pointedly, he referred to the gathering here as the G19 instead of the G20, meant as a snub to Russian President Vladimir Putin, who chose not to attend this gathering. Now, in an interview, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told me she believes the Chinese, who are also here, are getting closer to condemning Russia's invasion. I also asked her about the global shortage of diesel fuel and what it could mean for America. Do you believe that the U.S. will have enough diesel fuel to make it through the winter?
Well, hopefully, I believe there will be, but the East Coast really faces some shortages and low inventories. So we're keeping a close eye and monitoring that.
She said she also hopes that.
Oh, man said Brussels is the Washington of the European Union. Man, dude, you're saying a lot of funny stuff, dude. We got it. Seems
diesel fuel price.
Sure, Brussels. Sure, Belgium. Like these are real things, okay? Yeah, no, I know. Waffles, I got it. Yeah.
Prices don't go up again, because if they do, then prices for all kinds of goods will likely go up as well, because diesel fuel is so heavily used in transportation. So she says that's something that she's going to be watching very closely. Could obviously make packages this winter around Christmas time more expensive, Nate.
Nancy Cordes in Bali, thank you. We're going to begin with the news, though. Breaking news.
All right, getting back to what the fuck was going on, but have not been able to make a conclusive ID on the debris found at the site in Poland. At this time, though, I would not rule out a Ukrainian S-300 malfunctioning. This piece of debris looks similar to the end of a rocket engine. Here was the debris that they speak of. This is from like the actual. This is the explosion / like, you know, hole that it left, and here's some pieces of the bomb itself. So ultimately, even if it is a random accidental thing, this will get my country's name out of your fucking mouth. What country? Please stop asking me what my predictions on what I think will happen. I already told you. I already told you. I have no idea. Okay, I'm not making predictions. My suspicion, on the other hand, which is not 100% a prediction in any meaningful capacity, you will hear all the qualifiers you can from me whenever I mention shit like this, is that America likes making money, okay? America is not a real country, but a bunch of companies in a trench coat. And, you know, nuclear holocaust doesn't make money. The threat of nuclear holocaust does, but nuclear holocaust doesn't make money. So if that's the fucking point, then they're not going to, you know, I don't think that they're going to invoke Article 5. Okay? Because 2 Polish farmers died in what they're claiming, or what it looks like could be an accidental air defense missile failing to intercept one of the Russian missiles adequately. At least not until SpaceX reveals their Wall-E ship. Yeah, no shot. Ukraine FM wants a NATO summit with Ukraine's participation to craft further joint actions, which will force Russia to change its course on escalation, providing Ukraine with modern aircraft such as F-15s and F-16s, as well as air defense systems. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why they're... Article 5 doesn't equal nukes, though? No, it does. Here's why it does. Article 5 means every NATO country has a stake in defending every other NATO country. If Russia is invading Poland in a hypothetical scenario, NATO is Poland is a NATO country. That means America and every other NATO country now is defending Poland. That means they're going to send troops, which they're already stationed there in bases, to fight against Russian troops. They're going to use their fighter jets to fight Russian fighter jets, right? And the very moment that two countries with nuclear arsenal fight one another, the very moment that 2 countries with a nuclear arsenal fight one another, the concept is called mutually assured destruction. Nukes start fucking launching, and nuclear holocaust happens, nuclear winter happens. This guy just literally said Iraq didn't see nukes either. Yeah, I wonder why. Perhaps because they don't have fucking nukes. So yes, this takes me back to the HasanAbi doctrine, which I talked about so frequently during the original invasion of Ukraine, which is you have to have nukes. In a world where people have nukes, you just have to have nukes. Okay? That's it. If you don't have nukes, get nukes. Rule number 1, don't give up the nukes. Which Ukraine did, which was foolish mistake, big L. Rule number 2, you don't have nukes, get nukes. Rule number 3, if America says you have nukes, even if you don't have nukes, drop everything and develop nukes immediately, or you're fucked. Many reasons. There will be no nuclear war, just Russian capitulation, so stop scaring people about the nukes. This is a Russian talking point. Yes, everything you don't like is a Russian talking point. I'm a Russian state propaganda mouthpiece. Okay? Here, this is the HasanAbi doctrine. It's well established. Rule number 2, do not give up your nukes. Rule number 3, if you're accused of having nukes, drop everything immediately and find some nukes. In the most respectful way, I feel like you can make a better effort to delineate between the U.S. and NATO and the IMF on international stage. It doesn't actually help the left to blur those lines, in my humble opinion. Why? Why not? They're operating under the same principles. It's not even America per se. It's just capitalism. These are arms. These are soft power and just straight up military power arms of global capital. Like, that's it. And as it stands, America is the leader of that movement of liberal, capitalist, Western supremacy. It is the hegemonic power. I think you're right, but not before Congress gives a more billion to Ukraine in 3 months. The faucet will be turned off. Like, in all, you know, I thank you for being polite, but, you know, that doesn't change the reality of America's influence, you know? I think some people are also going to come to that realization that Ukrainians, I think, came to when America was like, yeah, we're not sending military there. What are you, fucking crazy? Right?
As a military official raised to me that this was a Ukrainian air defense missile that either missed its target or ricocheted off its target and fell inside Poland. I mean, with that range of possibilities.
Remember how every motherfucker in the chat earlier was saying, like, there's no way, dude. What the fuck? Who was saying that? Now everyone's saying
it. Clear they are taking this very seriously because something deadly struck NATO territory in the midst of an ongoing war in Ukraine brought by Russia, and in the midst of a war that Russia has been firing indiscriminately hundreds of missiles at Ukraine over the course of the last several months. As a U.S. lawmaker said to me a short time ago, he is surprised this hasn't happened yet, given the volume of ordnance that has been dropped on that country. But again, to Oren's point, and to what
the people saying, like, air defense missiles don't make that big of a crater, it doesn't mean that it's just the air defense missile. It could be a missile that intercepted a Russian missile and didn't deploy adequately in the air. You know what I mean? That's what it could have. What the fuck? That was the craziest fucking ad break. They just went straight into it. Anyway, what else? Really think that two countries would ever be stupid enough to make a war end with nuking each other? It's kind of the whole point of nukes, is that it never gets to that point, right? Like, that's why. So back in the day when nuclear proliferation was happening, when the arms race was happening, a lot of the I'm the best thinker on the planet types would say, a lot of people would say, well, this is actually going to bring about a new era, an era of peace. Why? Because two countries with nukes are never going to fight one another. Not realizing that that's not going to change the reality for a lot of countries without nukes. Okay? Proxy wars. But that was what it was. That the idea was that mutually assured destruction would make it so that no two countries that have nukes would ever war with one another. Because if two countries that have nukes would go to war with one another, they would just deploy their nukes.
Let me go ahead and highlight up front that we are aware of the press reports alleging that 2 Russian missiles have struck a location inside Poland near the Ukraine border. I can tell you that we don't have any information at this time to corroborate those reports and are looking into this.
Check Twitter. Russia wanted to hit America. My man said Russia wanted to hit America, and they just ended up hitting Poland on accident.
This further, and so when we do have an update to provide, we'll be sure to do so. Let me go ahead and highlight.
Anyway. NSC and DOD are still assessing reports of an explosion in Poland today, but the U.S. official tells me it was likely caused by a missile strike or errant missile, not remnants of a missile Ukrainian armed forces shot down. What? That's true, though. Oh my God, dude, stop. That guy was not it. That guy was just joking. We banned him. Did we? Oh no, he literally wrote it like that too. He said, America. Kurwa. He was right. I'm sorry, chatter. I'm sorry, chatter. You were right. Yeah, Russia was like, America. America. Oh my God, thank you for the unban. You got it. Chat catching strays just like Poland? Yeah. We already unbanned them. Calm down, chatters. The explosion was mainly from the grain silo getting hit, which caused a decent explosion from dust. In all honesty, it could have been caused by something as simple as a booster from various missiles or stray missiles. We will have to wait and see. It could have easily been a Russian missile that flew off course slightly, or the wrong coordinates were put in it. Dismissing it wasn't a Russian missile strike is weird. Wait, I'm not even fucking saying that, man. Like, that could very well be the case. The only thing I have stated is that I don't think Russia was deliberately and intentionally targeting Polish farmers 68 kilometers from the fucking Ukrainian border. You know? Missile hit correlates with a thermal power plant. The intended target of the Russian missile strike seems to be the Dobrotvirska thermal power plant. That can't be a coincidence. They missed it a lot. Missile hit almost 8 kilometers off target on the territory of Poland. Skill issue. I mean, I don't know who the fuck this dude is. This guy is so... But no, here's the thing. When every OSINT Andy with like 8K fucking followers says like, I know for a fact this was a thermal power plant that they were actually fucking targeting, every NATO simp is like, yeah, that's probably true. That's true. Yeah, that's really true. Like, no one ever goes back to assess whether someone with a Ukrainian flag in their bio is correct or not on any given speculation. You know?
Victor Nelson.
Evan Perez, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, here, this is the Idaho thing that happened.
House near campus. The latest on the investigation and the weapon police believe was used. Next.
Bro, that's crazy. Okay, I'm Ukrainian. I'm already tired of the story. We're going to get to some other stories now. And I will keep you updated if there's anything going on. You clearly underestimate the strategic importance of this Polish grain silo to the NATO defensive strategy. Yeah, I just like... Here's the thing. Mistakes can... mistakes can happen. Like unintentional targets can literally cause international chaos. That is not, that's not surprising at all. Okay. That can literally happen. And it has happened in the past. Okay. Mistakes happen all the time in war. It's one of the reasons why we here are against war in general. Okay. It's a matter of like what people do with that unintentional accident. And how far, world superpowers are willing to go. Okay? What is a walk? It's just, what is it? It's like a pharmaceutical. So, ultimately, I will get back to that story when there's more developments. But for the time being, it just seems like this is, you know, it's not going to escalate to anything beyond like they're just checking. It'll take a couple days to investigate, most likely, and then they'll move on. Then we'll figure out what the fuck's going on. Trump has an announcement that is going to be also a crazy one later today. And I feel bad for the Polish farmers that were massacred senselessly in another sea of, you know, endless bloodshed from ultimately Russia's insane actions of invading Ukraine. As Polish, our fascist government partly used it to justify general mobilization, which they were planning on for a while. They already made everyone over 18 get military examination. Yeah, but like that doesn't... Ultimately, look, Poland increasing its militarization or Poland like fucking posturing, that's not new. They do that shit all the time. That's why all those memes exist of like Poland always trying to hit the Article 5 button no matter what happens. You know what I mean? Russian fart winds blow in the direction of Poland. They're like Article 5 time. Okay? But that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things because, like, let's be real. And I keep saying this and people get fucking very upset when I say it. NATO is America. It's what America chooses to do that matters. I feel you downplay America's influence on Russian politics. Wait, what? Two people dying isn't a fartazon? No. I'm not talking about this instance. I'm talking about in general, like, the joke is that like Poland is super ready to fucking go to war. It's just America is not ready to go to war for Poland. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Right now, this is devastating. I already talked about it. It's horrible. I've never heard someone say I'm downplaying America's influence, though. That's a new one. Straight up. That is a new one.